the race is time, there is still the Drivers' Championship to watch for. Watch the lights now. 5 red lights. The Mexico City Grand Prix is underway, and Poconaldo gets off to a very good start, clearing Basket and Pedro. As we go down the main straight, someone is taking a really wide line off the start here, as Poconaldo will try his best to defend from the Alpine, which I don't think he does it successfully. And Basket takes the lead of the race, going into turn 1. A disastrous start from Poconaldo as we go into the second straight mode zone. It's gonna be Basket in P1. Poco P2 or P3. Basket loses it immediately as Poco regains the lead, and Alan climbs all the way into P2. He's jumped into P1. Both Red Bulls are now somewhere up there in the top half. It's chaotic, it's really chaotic, and I believe that is Alan who takes the lead from Poconaldo as we go through into Sector 2, through the sweepers, between the curbs, as Poconaldo and Alan gets away from the rest of the grid as we go down the main straight. Alan takes the lead, Zeus goes up into P3, we go into the stadium section, Poconaldo goes wide, and is still trying to fight against Alan, who go wheel to wheel now as we exit the stadium section, and as we round the final corners, as all 15 drivers tumble down into lap 2. It's Alan in P1, Poco in P2, Zeus in P3, Art P4, Basket P5, and Pedro, who started in P3, is down into P6. That is not... which would really put the championship title back on the line. As it's a 3-way battle, as Pedro slightly goes over the curb on his side wheels, goes wide again as he starts to drift away from Craigder, who slides and flips and comes out unscathed. And just as we were talking about him going into turn 7, turn 8, he's hit too much of the curb, and Craigder is sent down into P10, and Pedro is now back onto the podium spot as the Audi of Zeus is into P2. Where's Poconaldo? Well, Poconaldo's in first. Where's Alan? Should I say he's in P5? And the lead has slipped away from the world champion. The gap to Poconaldo as we go down the straight mode zone. Does he still have the ERS? Does he still have the battery to try and compete as we go into the stadium section? Yes, he does! And Pedro takes the lead of the race. It is P1 for the championship leader as we round the final corner, as we enter lap 7. Pedro gets the boost that he needs to get past Poconaldo. And Poconaldo's out. Wait, that was Zeus. Poconaldo is out of the race. What are we looking at here? This might have just been a glitch. Poconaldo is still in the lead as Art takes faster sector 1, just 2/10 off race, 2 seconds off qualifying pace. But Poconaldo, so on board with Basket. Oh, Alan is flipped! Alan has flipped! Exiting the stadium section, Alan has flipped! The cameras have cued perfectly to see Alan lose what could potentially be a vital couple of points as he pulls into the pits desperately. He's fallen into 10th, and just as the cameras pan towards that Red Bull, we saw him upside down at the end of the stadium section, which is be penetrated in terms of positions, in terms of driving, as they go wheel to wheel. Poco activating his ERS from the looks of things as we wade through 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 down the straight mode zone, and Poconaldo recovers, and Pedro's overtake has been reverted just before the stadium. The P2, and Pedro is well, Pedro can now breathe a little bit, but we still need to push, as Poconaldo is now on fresh sets of tires. And clearly Pedro is pushing. Fastest sector 1 at 26.1. It's the fastest sector 2 on his new softs. As he tails behind one of the Cadillacs, the Cadillac of Cookie. Trooper Basket takes the lead of the race, and Pedro has come in for his pit stop. Who will come out ahead? Poconaldo zooming down the main straight as Pedro comes out just behind, and their fight will continue past pitting. Although the Red Bull's strategy might not have worked out too well in their favor, the gap has seemed to be a little bit larger than it was before. But then again, Pedro does have fresher tires for now, and he will continue to have fresher tires as we close this race. The number of points you get for being first compared to second is still quite a lot. 7 points. Missed out! And that's Zeus who's out of the race! He's into the wall! And just before the final straight mode zone, Fabrizo is into the wall and will become the 4th retirement of today's race. The yellow flags fly, and it is heartbreak for Zeus, who looks so promising in free practice, and he will not see the checkered flag. We dive down into turns 1 and 2, and Pedro taking every risk he can for the high reward there is of P1, and that is what has happened there? And who is it? How do we even describe this? Who is in? Who has no clipped his way into the barriers in the most extraordinary of situations. He's out of this race, and now we're looking at Poconaldo versus Pedro. Pedro, who has closed up 0.6 of a second, and despite his great fight, it won't be enough. Poconaldo from pole for the first time in DRS. Poconaldo sees the checkered flag first to win the Mexico City Grand Prix, and Pedro will finish